Hey everybody, welcome back to Starcub Review. I'm your host as always, Starcub. Now, before I get into today's video, just want to give a big, huge welcome to everyone new to my channel and everyone returning to my channel. Hope you guys have been enjoying my videos. To those returning and to those brand new to my channel that have commented on that, I'm so happy to see comments and you guys tuning in, and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos because that's the aim of it. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with where everything is going. Today's one, I'm going to do a simple, easy one, and that is on a movie review that I saw a couple of days ago, and that is from 2023, and that is the final Indiana Jones film, which is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which came out in 2023. I know, I'm late with this one, but I wasn't able to actually watch it when it came out, so I've gotten around to renting it out now from my local library and watched it, and I have some thoughts on it. But before I get into that, I'll let the intro video roll, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Okay, I'm back. Welcome back, everybody. So, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the final film in the Indiana Jones franchise. Was it as bad as what everyone says it is? Was it as horrible as what everyone says it is? No, it's not that horrible. It's not that bad. But is it great? No. It's just okay. Yeah, that's the easiest way I can put it. It's just okay. I have a lot to say about this film because it was disappointing for Indiana Jones's final adventure. It was disappointing, coupled with the fact that the writing was absolutely horrible, was not great. I thought it was extremely disrespectful to previous films and really did not match the same style, flair, and originality as any of the other films. Yeah, it really disappointed me in some aspects. Though it was great to see, you know, the likes of Antonio Banderas, who plays Ronaldo, who apparently is one of Indy's old friends from Indy's adventures. So you see him, and Antonio Banderas, for all that you see of his little small role, disappointing. Wanted to see more because his character seemed like he could have joined Indy and the rest of them on this last adventure. John Rhys Davies returns as Salah from previous films. Specifically, he was in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So his character returns in a substantial cameo role. It was great to see him. He looks great, by the way. But again, not enough to have cameos of, you know, fan favorites. Salah was great to see, but again, he could have done more for the story, I think, and having him inserted in, it just disappointed me that he could have been there for a little bit more substantial role, which is disappointing. And obviously, there is a cameo from Karen Allen, who plays Marion Ravenwood. Again, she doesn't come into it until towards the end of the film. Practically the end of the film, and her cameo is decent, but it is also a betrayal of what was set up in the previous films, especially Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because this one, Indy and Marion are divorced, they're split, and their son Mutt, who was played by Shia LaBeouf in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which personally, I absolutely loved Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I know there's a lot of haters out there, but I know there's a lot of people that love Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I loved Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. One of the best stories, I think. But Shia LaBeouf didn't return to play Mutt, obviously. Mutt gets mentioned. The whole reason for why Marion and Indy are broken up is because Mutt signs up for the army to go into the war. And spoiler alert, people that haven't seen it, turn away right now. Or if you're not interested and want to hear it, that's fine. You've been warned. Mutt dies off screen and has been dead for a number of years. And that's the reason for this split. Pathetic writing. Absolutely, it's an absolute cop-out. An absolute cop-out to do that to characters that were established and, you know, at the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, them getting married and presumably going on to new adventures. Not so. Also, this film suffers from an absolutely awful villain from Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Jürgen Voller. An absolute disgrace. Absolutely disgraceful. Disgusting acting. Absolutely horrible writing. And no offense to Mads Mikkelsen, but the way that that character was written for you, mate, was awful. Absolutely awful. You weren't menacing. It actually came off really funny and just downright annoying. Wasn't villainous enough. Wasn't even a memorable villain at all. Could have been, but no. And one of your henchmen in it as well, played by Boyd Holbrook, who plays Kleber. Awful sidekick. Awful sidekick. Absolutely horrible writing. And he didn't do a very good job either. It was awful. And I know there's a lot of people that hate Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who plays Helena Shaw, which is Jones's goddaughter in this film. And that's a surprise. That comes out of... I'm like, what? How much did we freaking miss? As much... I mean, I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge does a good job as Helena Shaw. But her character was awfully written. Awfully written. And you could see it. There were some funny moments from her, and I genuinely laughed. Some really good funny moments from her. But it was horrible. And the sidekick that's with her, that clearly is taking a book out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom's sidekick. I just feel like his acting in it too was extremely awful. Playing Phoebe Waller-Bridge's sidekick in this film. It really... I really don't have any words for it. The writing was horrible, not to mention it didn't have the same flair as any of the previous Indiana Jones films. It was devoid of that, obviously because George Lucas and Steven Spielberg weren't at the helm. Especially, it wasn't directed by Steven Spielberg, so it didn't have that same flair. No offense to James Mangold, who directs this film, but it was awful. It was awful. It was written awful, and the way and the setup, it really needed to have that more indie feel, like raiding tombs and going through, you know, insect-filled hallways and temples and all of that. And it had little bits in that here and there, and you know, it's set during the backdrop of 1969. There was a lot going in, and the whole Archimedes dial, and this is what they're going after. Get the two pieces of the dial, and obviously it's built by Archimedes. It's an ancient artifact, and apparently it can send you through time. It was very convoluted, and it relied very heavily on CGI, which is another no, absolute no. It was full of CGI, absolutely full of CGI, and it was awful, and you could see it. It was, like I said, it wasn't bad. I did enjoy aspects of it, and you can see that genuinely it looked like they all had fun, but there was so much behind the scenes that this film was troubled with. You know, and I've seen things from Harrison Ford saying that he apologizes now for saying, you know, that he thought there was still at least one more tale to tell from Indiana Jones. Yes, and I agree with him. Yes, there was. But the way that this was all set up, and this is your final one, I think it's a cop-out. You could have added characters from some of the original films coming in to give, you know, to send this film off with a bang, and really gone all out with Indiana Jones's final film. And this just didn't have it, unfortunately. It really didn't. And I can see why a lot of people didn't like this film. Why it bombed at the box office. It received a lot of mixed reviews to negative reviews. Yeah, and I can see why, because it just wasn't handled that well. It just didn't come off as an indie film. It didn't have the same flair. So that's all I've got to say about it. What do I rate this film? I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It was decent, but sort of not decent ish. It's one of those really weird ones where you just watch it and you go, what the fuck? This is not indie. This doesn't feel like Indiana Jones. And yeah, the writing and that was horrible. It really came off awful. And I really don't want to feel, I really feel bad for saying that it's horrible, but it is, and that's the truth. It was horrible, and I really wanted to like it, and I just couldn't. So that's my review, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button to keep up to date with all my content. And I'll catch you all with another video very, very soon. Alright guys, ciao.